for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but a means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy YouTube, you find that a lot of the videos you like to watch are very visually engaging and you're several hours in and haven't gotten nearly as far in your knitting as you would have liked to. So my channel is just to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. Now, if you are familiar with one of the other episodes I filmed, this is the cowl, the Colour Block Cowl from the Knit Yourself Calm book that I picked up at KnitPicks. I will link the publisher below, as well as provide the ISBN if you'd like to pick up the book yourself. And pardon the angle, I had to sit back a little bit. I just filmed another video and it's just gonna keep getting hot. And I was like, you know what, I'll just do 2 in a row, upload them separately, call it a day, so then I can just peel off all the stuff that's like either sticking to me or melting off of me and call it good. So this is the Colour Block Cowl that I'm working on. Get you close up here. So it's a 3-color pattern. It's a very simple pattern actually, which I think is why it's from the Knit Yourself Calm book, because it's just very calm. It's not super complicated, and it's using DK weight yarn, and it is using a 32-inch circular needle with US size 7? I messed that up last time. US size 6, circular needle, 32-inch length cord. And I am coming up to getting very close to the end of this main color, and you'll see here, this is the front, so you start with the garter, then you knit, stockinette, garter again, stockinette, and then I'm at garter again, and then I do that for a little bit, and then I switch to my second color, or yarn B, and I'm also, if you are new watching this one, I am knitting 2-stranded with a kid mohair blend yarn, as well as a merino blend. I think it might just be 100% merino, but I got these from Hobby. So if you watch my first episode of this one, it's not my first episode, but the first time I'm working on this, I have in the description box the yarn that I'm using. So I had my stitch mark. My stitch markers. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. I woke up and I just started filming right away. I haven't had breakfast or coffee, so my brain is just kind of spitfiring, or it's having some problems. But I was like, it's just gonna keep getting hot. It was supposed to rain today and it hasn't yet, and I was hoping that would cool things off a little bit, but it's not. So I just finished my second round of garter stitch, or at least purling that it's asking me to do, and I have to do this 3 more times before I switch to a different yeah, 3 more times of this, and then knit for 9 rounds. So we'll just keep going. So if you are new here, again, welcome. Most of the time I just chat and knit around and around and around whatever I'm working on, and just talk about what's going on, ask you guys some questions, and encourage you guys to comment in the comment section, and I will do my best to respond to you. So it's Tuesday here. I'm off for the rest of the week. Go me, right? I had a lot of vacation I had to burn up at my job before the end of the, well, there was a grace period at the end of the fiscal year where you had to use up whatever carried over, or by a certain date, or you wouldn't be able to use it at all. It'd just go away. And considering my work schedule, it was best for me to just take it now, because I wouldn't have another opportunity to use that time off before the cutoff time. So, oh my god, the end of my stitch protector like rolled off the floor, and I swear it was a spider because my house is really old and that would not be something uncommon. And I was just like, ooh, but just a stitch protector. Um, so yeah, so I'm off for the rest of the week. I'm hoping to hang out with a friend on Sunday. My book club got canceled this month. Well, they pushed it back a weekend, so it's kind of good for me because I started reading it and I don't like it, so I haven't gotten very far. But it's relatively a quick read. It's just not interesting to me. So, we'll see. I don't know if I'll bail or not, but I have RSVP'd, so we'll see. I'll finish the whole thing, see how I feel. But in my previous video, oh my gosh, I forgot to mention, this is definitely part of my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series. So I have a whole playlist going, and those are marked by episode, where I am knitting Christmas gifts. Well, most of the people that I knit for are celebrating Christmas, so these are essentially Christmas gifts. And I need to have them done before the December cutoff, where I have to have them mailed off so that they get to whoever I'm sending them to in time for the holidays. Like the deadline, so that they get them at least by Christmas Eve and all that stuff. So all of the videos in that playlist are just me working on strictly holiday gifts, and this is one of them. And this is for my cousin. So I didn't get a chance to make her anything last year because I ran out of time. So I'm really hoping I get this done in time for her. And it's going pretty quickly. Like, I started a few weeks ago, and I haven't been actively knitting it, but it goes around pretty quick. So I'm pretty confident I'll have this done in time. But yes, so knitting for this, it'll give me an opportunity to take this on the train with me if I do go to that book club. But if I don't, then I can just be here knitting. But then at the same time, it is the one time I really get to interact with anybody I know in the city. And that's not that many people, but at least get to the city, enjoy some time. But it's coming so close to when my work gets super busy that I just kind of have a feeling that I want to just relax and not do a lot of strenuous travel, especially after I spent so much time in the city this past Thursday when I participated in a yarn crawl. And I have a whole other video about that. So if you want to listen in on what I was up to on Thursday, you can go ahead and click on that video on my channel, where I talk about what I got, how much I spent, and just my whole adventure down in the city. And it wasn't only the city, I visited a few suburbs as well, so but it was a whole day event, like literally a whole day. No joke. But for today, well, I knit because I don't have a knitting group that is active, that is easily accessible. I choose to chat with you guys and work on my projects. So that's where we are today. So yes, it's Tuesday. I thought that the Yarn Care people would be here by now. They generally do their thing on Tuesdays, maybe even Wednesdays. So I think I'm pretty lucky at this point if I can talk and I don't hear like a weed whacker or a leaf blower or a lawnmower or something going on like that in the background, because usually they're doing that, and it's always later in the day, and then most of the time in the fall and spring they take care of that stuff like earlier in the morning. And here it is, it's probably 12 o'clock or a little after 12 now. There's usually like a siren. They always, because I'm in the Midwest, they usually do like tornado drill alarm testing, and those usually go off like clockwork at noon, and I don't think I heard it but I've definitely been filming. I filmed a previous video about the yarn crawl and the stitch convention, and I didn't hear it go off at that point, so it may have already happened. But I think today I'm just going to work on this project. I'm almost, at least if I can get to the next color, I think I'll be happy. But while I'm on vacation, I have a few other projects that I would like to at least finish. One of them being the doggy, the doggy sweater you guys have seen me work on several times. I'm still on only the first panel, and there are 2 panels that need to be knit and seamed together, and I'm still on the first panel. And it's not even like, it's not hard, but I believe in another video I explained that, like, because it's just knit flat and I have to keep turning my work, I'm not as into it as this kind of work, just straight knitting in a circle, or like at this point straight purling in a circle. It's just not the same for me, but oh well. I have to get at least, like, my goal when I took my vacation was like, alright, I'm gonna just do knitting stuff. I want to at least get one project completed, and I want to at least get the first panel done on the dog sweater, but I haven't touched it, and I've been off since Thursday, and here it is Tuesday, but it's early Tuesday, so I have hope. I have hope that I'll be able to get further in it, so we'll see. But it's been hot, so I've just kind of been hanging out downstairs, and maybe, I'm thinking I would maybe try to film maybe one more time this week. It's been hot, so I haven't really been that motivated to put on clothes, honestly. I'd rather just sit around in like a tank and some shorts, or like just in my nightie, or like my sleep shirt or whatever, and just like lie on the couch in front of the AC with my cats and just stay away from the upstairs, because it's horrible up here. And I mean, yesterday I was going to film, I actually did film the yarn crawl and stitch con video, and I came downstairs to edit, and I realized that I left out something, and I was like, oh, I could just go reshoot that, but at that point I already had my hair and a high ponytail. I was already like halfway out of my makeup, and I'm like, I don't want to get dressed again. I was just like so unmotivated, so I was like, I'll just scrap it, I'll do it tomorrow, thinking it was going to be cooler today, because it was supposed to storm like all day, and it hasn't. It's just been overcast, so like, alright, so there's no relief from the heat pretty much the rest of the week. I'm kind of on my own there, so we'll see. I might knit downstairs another time this week, and then you guys can see my kitties again. I know Koji came by and said hello when I was working on the Tempestry project that is not part of this series, but is a separate gift altogether for a different occasion, and he jumped in my lap and said hello then, so we'll see if Kabu comes by. I did post, if you haven't watched my yarn crawl video, I have an Instagram, and it is Paws and Pearls Offline, and I'll have that in the description going forward for my videos now that it exists. And I did take like a kind of a shot of her yesterday morning before I got out of bed to film, because she and Koji were on my bed and were very convincing of making me stay in longer than I had intended to, because it gets so hot. Like, I'm trying to shoot earlier in the day before it gets super hot, but it hasn't been working out entirely, because then I get all melty, and then I just want to take breaks, and it's just a mess. So we'll see. We'll see about maybe, tomorrow's Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Friday, my partner gets home from work early, so I don't want them coming in if I happen to be still filming and then just kind of like barging in the room. loud and stuff like that, so I might just do it like tomorrow or Wednesday if I do film downstairs, so that I get it out of the way before they have a chance to make me have to like cut the scene or something and edit them out. So I am on row 3 or round. Yes, I'm on my 4th round here of purling before I have to do one more, and then I can start knitting before I change colors. So I'm liking it. I prefer to do the 2-strand with the different fiber because in the first video when I was shooting this project, I had mentioned that I kind of like that textured look. It adds a little bit of nice fuzzy warmth to it. And then when I was at the hobby site, they had suggested pairing the kid mohair with, oh wait, no. Did I say kid mohair? It is mohair, but it's called kid silk. So it's kid mohair and silk together. But their product description said, oh, you can, strand this with another similar color of our line to kind of make this interesting textured effect. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So I went ahead with it. And since I'm almost done knitting in this color, I believe I have enough yarn left over where I could start another cowl and just use it for myself. Same color scheme, but one for me, one for her, because I really like the colors I chose, of course. Going with those blues and greens again, those teals, but just in general, it's like a nice kind of muted palette, and they're all colors that are pretty good for just like a general, like if I had like a nice gray shirt or something. I have a lot of gray cardigans and things, and just pair it with that, because there is gray in the middle color, so, or color, whatever you call it, B, color B is gray, so I think that'll be nice. So, it is, it's a weekday, and by the time I upload this, I'm hoping it'll be the same day. We'll see. My computer transferring files has been a little finicky, and YouTube itself has been a little finicky. I do apologize. I don't know if it's just me, or if it's, or what, but for some reason, the last few videos I've uploaded onto YouTube, I've looked at the raw footage, everything's fine, the visuals are crisp, or at least crisp enough considering that I'm filming on my phone, and I go to upload it and I do one more view in private just to make sure everything looks good, and then I say publish to public, and for some reason once it goes public, the first part of the video is all grainy and it's horrible. And if you're experiencing that, I am so sorry. I'm debating if I want to re-upload altogether and just like re-import the whole thing with like a lower quality to maybe take away from that weird like rendering looking effect it has, or buffering effect that seems to be going on, because all my videos have been the same quality, and it's only the last few recently that are starting to give me problems. And considering all the work I put into it, I really don't want that to continue to be an issue. So for this one and the one before, I've tried to mess with the settings a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. But just a heads up, things might not look like they used to, because I'm trying to make sure that YouTube doesn't mess up my video quality anymore, and there's no real, I don't know why it would do it for just those and not the ones that I made in the past, so we'll see. But yeah, so you can see like I finished one round pretty quick, and I'm almost at the end, and I'm actually going to change my stitch marker now that I filmed another video where I showed everybody my new finds from my yarn crawl and the stitch convention. I can use one of my really cute stitch markers now. And not to say that this isn't cute, but I feel like using the basic ones for like the in-between. Let's say I'm working on a pattern that has multiple stitch markers in one round, then I think I can start using like my older ones again. But for now, if I just need one, I want it to be cute and decorative. So let me get to the end of this round, and then I will add or replace the stitch marker with one that is a little bit more me. Let's just say that. And there's one thing I noticed, it's like I bought so many stitch markers at the yarn crawl and at the convention, but they're kind of like, to me, they're kind of like earrings or, you know, bracelets or, you know, any kind of jewelry or accessory you might have where you just have more than one because you like to change it up every now and then. And that's kind of how I feel about them. Plus, they're little, so they're kind of like if you're a person with long hair or you use a lot of hair ties and stuff, it's like you lose them all the time. And when I used to have straight hair, I was losing my hair ties. Actually, I take that back. My partner, when they had long hair, they were always stealing my hair ties because they didn't like it long all the time. They always wanted to wear it up in a bun or something when they were home, and they'd borrow my hair ties, and I'm like, dude, you can buy your own hair ties. Like, I don't understand why you have to steal mine all the time. And then I'd find them all over the place, and then the cats would find them. And I would generally keep mine on my wrist until they got shot, like the elastic got shot, and then I'd get a new one. But anyway, little tiny things get lost. Little tiny things become cat toys very easily, and I want to make sure I have a lot so that if I lose one, it's not the end of the world. And then I also have some variety. So if I want to change things up, I can. So here we are. We're at the end of my round. I'm going to take this bad boy off, set it aside, which will probably get lost because it's just on my couch, and mark. That is my fourth. I finished. I have one more round of purling, and then I can start knitting. So let's see. Too bad I wasn't doing this live, and I'd say like, hey guys, you should vote for which one I should use next. But I kind of want, oh my, the side of my face is melting, and I just like tapped it, and hopefully I'm far enough away you can't see that nastiness. It's like, it's hot, but I still want to be cute, you know? Like, goodness. Cut me some slack, Mother Nature. Alright. Oh, ooh, that's a cutie. Let's see. Aww. See, this is hard. Now I have so many, I don't know which ones to use. I think I'll go with this guy. This little tabby. Can you guys see him? It's a kitty. Well, either way, he's cute. Or she. So I'll use that one. And this is from Stunning String Studio, their website. If you watch my yarn video that I shot, the yarn crawl and the stitch convention, I have links there. So watch it, and then you'll find out how you can get yourself some of these cuties. I guess I'll just put it like that. Sure. Alright. Continuing on. So yesterday, after I filmed and realized that I messed up and that I would have to reshoot today for a separate video. It wasn't for this one. It was for the yarn crawl and the stitch con. I made Rice Krispie treats because I didn't need to use my oven. I get in these moods where I really want to bake, and it's actually, I think it was was a random day last week. I can't remember. It might have, actually, it was probably on the weekend. I really was in the mood. Well, one, because of my pay schedule, not like you guys care, but we buy groceries based on when I get paid, and I usually designate, because I'm salary employee, if you can relate or not, let me know, but how my job has it arranged is that I get paid once a month. And so I have to budget like all of my spending at the beginning of the month, like, okay, this is going to be for bills, this is going to be for, utilities and food, this is going to be for, my cat stuff, this is going to be for me, this is going to be for like disposable income, this is for like my never-ending student loans that I just can't run away from, and all that good stuff. So for a while we didn't have a lot of food because it wasn't at that point where I said, okay, we're at the halfway point where we can go to the grocery store. So I usually do like 2 big shopping trips to the store and get enough for like those 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks where I have a big shopping trip. So about twice a month I go on a big shopping grocery store trip. And so I hadn't said anything for a while. We still had enough food, and just with our schedules and everything, we hadn't like really carved out a time to go to the store. And then my partner is just kind of like, what do we have to eat? And I'm like, well, we have this and that and that. And I was like making all kinds of stuff in my fridge and using up leftovers and things like that. And then finally, we ran out of ice cream, and we hadn't gone to the store, and I really wanted something sweet. So I just made peanut butter cookies, just like a simple, or they were peanut butter oatmeal cookies. They were like 4 ingredients, an egg, some peanut butter, sugar, and oatmeal, dry oatmeal. And they're super simple, really satisfying if you don't like want to do the whole shebang with the nutmeg and the flour and all that stuff. Like, they fit the bill. If you're just looking for a sweet treat that's quick and simple, 4 ingredient peanut butter oatmeal cookies. 3 ingredient peanut butter cookies are also a good one. But I wanted a little bit more sustenance, so the peanut butter oatmeal ones. And so we had those. They lasted a while, and yeah, and then finally, after the yarn crawl and stuff, I was like, okay, well, what does your schedule look like? When do you want to go to the store again? And my partner was like, oh, I was waiting for you to say something. I'm like, you could have said something. Like, I was waiting on you, because he's the one with the car. And I'm like, well, I can't just hijack your car, This is a group effort. Like, we're both going shopping together and, getting groceries that we both need for lunch, for breakfast, dinner, all that stuff. So I'm like, it's not just always me. So I don't know. Is that just me? Do you have a partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that like will not say anything, and they're literally like bleeding to death, and you're like, if you got shot, just tell me and I could take you to the hospital? Like, they're just like, I'll just walk it off like no big deal. Well, I mean, not that drastic, but like, they just won't say when something's bothering them, and then you're just like, you could have said something. I mean, it's all in fun, but I was just like rolling my eyes, like, really, if you felt like you wanted more stuff to eat than what we had here, just say something and we can go to the store. Like, I'm on your schedule. Like, I'm not the one with the car. So, that was something. But yeah, we finally stocked up, so I picked out some things to make Rice Krispie treats, and since it had been hot and I didn't want to use my oven anymore, I decided to make Rice Krispie treats yesterday. Big, long story short is that we now have Rice Krispie treats, and they're surviving. I made them yesterday, and I had like 2 at lunch, and then 2 for dessert after dinner. So, and then my partner was out late, hanging out with some friends and stuff, and so they didn't even know that I made them, and then they're like, what are these? I'm like, they're Rice Krispie treats. Like, you saw me put the stuff in the cart, and they're like, oh, okay. So they ate one too, and they're like, I don't even know why I'm eating this so late, because they got home like late, like 9 o'clock. And for a weeknight when you have to go to work the next day, that's kind of late. So they ate it and went to bed. So today, I'm not making anything sweet, but I honestly, all this fuzz from this fuzzy yarn is like sticking to me. I didn't make, I didn't have breakfast or lunch yet, so I think I'll have maybe another Rice Krispie treat for lunch and see how I feel after that. So, here's my progress. You see, we have the purling bit, the knitting bit, the purling bit, knitting bit, and we're here at the purling bit again, and then I have a little bit more knitting, and then we can change to the next color. So maybe by tomorrow or the next time I film, we'll continue with this, or we might work on something else. But there's nothing else that's really new to show you guys. A lot of it's just all the same projects that I haven't finished yet. So we'll see. I have some time to think about it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you're here from Instagram, thank you for stopping by. If you're already a continuing YouTube viewer, thank you so much for visiting again. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.